And here we are. Welcome back to the Redshirt Sophomore. We never sit out. Right into week 4. We got our previews. We got 8 games. We got best bets. We got dirty dogs on an absolute heater right now. Stinky. Man, it feels like City, we are learning a ton about lots of teams. But there are teams that we're going to be previewing this week that I still feel like I don't know enough about. Whether they're not playing strong enough games, injuries, whatever, I don't have a ton of convictions about some of the teams we're going to be talking about today. But I guess we'll start to figure that out pretty soon. I mean, once you get to week 4 and week 5, I think we're going to start to get an understanding in these next few weeks of where these teams actually are heading into the heart of conference play.
Yeah, for sure. And we're starting that conference play too. We've been in it a little bit, dipping our toes just enough. This week we're kind of getting closer. And we do have a couple really nice out of conference games. Shout out the SEC. Normally I'm not quick to give a ton of credit to the SEC for their scheduling dynamics, but they did a great job here. You got Arkansas going on the road to Memphis. We'll be covering that. Auburn going on the road. That's a conference game. Holy cow.
Tulane.
And then Tulane going to Ole Miss, right? Ole Miss hosting that, which is the second part of a home and home, which took place just a couple years ago in Tulane. If you remember, that game was actually a really nice game for a long time. Tulane had their backup quarterback, Kai Horton, all that good stuff. But yeah, here we are, week 4. You mentioned it too, where we still don't know a ton about some of these teams and these rosters. We got some injuries setting in, some attrition coming along. You got some reinforcements coming from the camp injuries. So it's gonna be interesting to kind of unpack all of that. Excited to get into it.
Yeah, let's just dive into it. Well, actually, see, before we do that, real quick, Brent Pry, Deshaun Foster, see ya. All right, and guess what? Very much deserved. Both of them. Very much deserved. You cannot lose. Those two guys lost by combined, what? Almost 50 points to Old Dominion in New Mexico. First of all, we talked about it when they hired Deshaun Foster at UCLA. It was a late cycle hire because Chip Kelly left to go be the offensive coordinator pretty late. And whether they were lazy about it or they were like, this is a temporary solution, I don't know. Whatever it wasn't fair to any of the players. And it clearly didn't work out. It was not going to work out from the first press conference. All right. People would be very quick to point out that press conference. It was not going to work out. All right. It really wasn't. The one I'm bummed about is Brent Pry because it felt like he had the talent, the recruiting, some key signature wins. It felt like it was going in the right direction. Just kind of fell off the rails a little bit last year when there were super high expectations, and then this year really falling off the rails as we see them just get blown out by Old Dominion. It's a bummer, and it feels like actually some of the other schools in the ACC have kind of gotten better, and maybe where Virginia Tech was supposed to step in, other teams kind of filled that spot, in that second tier or bottom of the first tier in the ACC.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, we were not very high on Brent Pry a couple off seasons ago, and he started to prove us wrong just a little bit in 2023. Did not work out. Obviously, it sucks. Not that I'm questioning the move, but the timing of it, I guess it makes sense after you get blown out by Old Dominion. Same thing with UCLA. That result is unacceptable. We love Jason Eck just as much as the next person, right? What he's doing at New Mexico. Ask Michigan, ask the rest of the Mountain West, who's probably terrified to see them on their schedule.
Ask you last week when you took New Mexico as a dirty dog.
We saw that coming, didn't we? It's a shame. Obviously, this cycle seems like it's starting quicker than most. You've got Stanford. Don't forget they're still on the coaching block. And now you've got 2 more Power 4 spots open, where last year was a lot of G5. So we'll see what the candidates will merge. I don't expect them to name any kind of coach anytime soon. You'll see a bunch of names floating out there. We'll start to see some more clarity, I think, in November. But yeah, it's something to monitor for sure. Hopefully, these teams and programs and players can salvage what they have left and hopefully, have a chance to continue fighting down the road. I don't know how I'm going to be reacting to them early on. I'm not going to be touching any of them with my best bets. Not going to be too concerned with that, or even upset alert, stuff like that. You have no idea how they're going to respond. This week, I think will teach us a good amount. In finishing September strong, hopefully, for these programs.
All right, enough of that. Let's just head into the previews. Arkansas is going to Memphis. We mentioned it before. Arkansas, we're going to pick this game at 7.5. All right. Arkansas is a 7.5 point favorite, but remember, they're on the road. I saw that number and I'm like, whoa, that is low. But you got to remember, it's not in Fayetteville. And Ryan Silverfield, dude, what an underappreciated coach in college football. I mean, this isn't to slam Brendan Lewis, but in every offense that Brendan Lewis has ever played in, he has looked terrible. And right now, he is playing efficient quarterback play. It's not world beating. It's not amazing. It's efficient quarterback play. And it's been plenty to comfortably win some of these games early in the season against, some not great teams, but also some decent G5 teams as well. So, yeah, this Memphis team looks to be pretty good. I would say that they're a contender to make the college football playoffs for that G5 spot. And in the American, yeah, there's a couple of good teams in the American this year. I would consider the American right now, from what we've seen in the out-of-conference play, as probably the best G5 conference out there. And I don't think that that's a crazy hot take.
Especially with Tulane and Memphis. Even UTSA looking good at times as well. You got some teams doing some Army, right?
Even in their losses.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this is a big spot for the American, big spot for Memphis. You talked about Brendan Lewis, man. I mean, it seems like he's been playing college football forever. It seems like he has been, like a very average at his best quarterback, and they're putting it together. Him on the ground is nice to see. Sutton Smith is turning into a really nice running back for him. They're going to need it, right? Running the football, keeping the ball away from Arkansas's offense. And the nice thing about Silverfield and this Memphis Tiger team, like for years and years and years, they've been like high tempo, right? Like very fast, score quickly and efficiently and often. And the defense just has to play catch up and just hold teams as best as they can, hold on for dear life. But this is a different identity team than Memphis has had in the past. And credit Silverfield and this staff and this roster for kind of flipping that pretty quickly based on the personnel and strengths of their team. Boy, are they going to need that defense, because Arkansas can put up points in a hurry. Taylor Green is playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. You got a couple nice running backs for Arkansas with Washington and Braylon Russell, plus the receivers and offensive line putting in work. I mean, Ole Miss was in there doing crazy efficient stuff on offense, and they still couldn't keep Arkansas off the board. And in that game, Arkansas had the ball, had a chance to win that on the road there. Here's another spot here, back-to-back weeks after a tough, long, physical football game. You got to get yourself back together and go on the road to a talented and tough Memphis team. It's interesting, man. This line, I don't know where I was seeing it, but it seemed like it opened lower than what we're staring at right now, a lot lower, which I don't know if that was necessarily right, but man, it's an interesting spot here. I'm gonna go Arkansas -7.5. I think they're gonna their level of athlete, I think, might give Memphis the defense fits and problems. It'll be a much different pace than what they saw against Troy, and Jared Parker brings to the table, and Georgia State, and what they have there athletically. So great spot for Memphis to get some stuff done. They got a chance with Ole Miss, or with Arkansas coming off a tough loss to Ole Miss on the road back-to-back weeks. But I have a hard time seeing Arkansas not put up a lot of points here, and then ask Brendan Lewis to do something that he really hasn't been successful at, is when he's playing from behind and he has to throw the ball. More often than not, that's where the defense, finds themselves in good spots.
Definitely. The Jaylen Brown fumble was not necessarily why Arkansas lost. It was ultimately, that final nail in the coffin there. They would have won potentially otherwise if he hadn't done that. But yeah, defense didn't look great, particularly that secondary, which was being put together by, the transfer portal. So there was definitely a question mark going into the season. Connie Walker gets hurt as well. He has a concussion. He probably won't be playing in this game as well. But the run defense from Arkansas was pretty impressive. I know Chambliss was able to do like his crazy stuff. But I was thoroughly surprised that they were able to stop the run there. In Memphis, even with Greg Drozier being out, and I don't know if he's coming back or not. I don't know his injury status, but Sutton coming in playing running back, playing a great running back right now. I'm loving what he's doing. But if Arkansas is able to stop the run right there, and they're able to put some serious pressure on the quarterback with, by golly, I'll say elite edge rusher from what we've seen these first couple games. Loving what we're going to be seeing here with Quincy Rhodes. I like Taylor Green, like you said, all the athletes. While Ryan Silverfield should be in that conversation of coaches, in that hiring block for those Power 5, Power 4 schools, it's not crazy to say that he should stay at Memphis, versus those jobs. I mean, like, he's in a great spot right now, and he's so underappreciated. Yeah, but I'm going to be with you here. I'll take Arkansas minus 7.5. But yeah, Memphis has definitely they got a shot in this game for sure. If Brendan Lewis plays efficient quarterback and their running backs they're able to run the ball more effectively than Ole Miss, and their defense finds a way to generate some turnovers, yeah, they got a shot.
How about a couple of former Mountain West quarterbacks meeting again, right? Taylor Green, Brendan Lewis was at Nevada. Kind of fun stuff there. Obviously, fine quarterbacks just about anywhere. But yeah, Taylor Green's going to be a difference maker in this game. I'm with you here.
Texas Tech traveling to Utah. You want to talk about two teams, CD, that we all have this image of being really, really good, but at the same time, neither of these teams have actually played anyone worth a dang. I mean, really. I mean, they both looked really good against the competition. I mean, Utah, that first half, maybe against Wyoming, but, like, come on. Like, Laramie gets everyone, right? But yeah, I mean, both of these quarterbacks have looked incredible. We're talking about, like, not necessarily Heisman contenders right now, but, like, in the conversation this early in the season. Running games have been super effective for both of these teams. I like both of these offensive lines. Texas Tech's defense, I think, is looking better than I think people imagine, and we still got to see, when they face better competition. Two really good coaches. I would maybe give the edge to the Utah coaching staff, but boy, this is a big game, man. This is college football implication type game right here.
Yeah, this would be my pick for game of the week, right? Game day to me should be here. Like, first of all, Salt Lake. When Utah is in it, man, their crowd, that stadium is awesome. It's a very, very tough place to play. Just ask USC, ask Caleb Williams, right, what they did there for so many years. Utah in the Pac-12 Mountain West, coming to the Big 12, didn't have the season they wanted to last year. Same with Texas Tech, too. I think, if you ask them, they underachieved. They have a ton of talent on their team. They really invested in the offseason. They were a team a lot of people were high on in the offseason for good reason. We like the quarterback. We like the talent there, as well as that coaching staff. Man, I just think Devin Dampier is going to be a star, right? We've been talking about him, how important that was. Him, Jason Beck, right? What they're doing at Utah right now with the talent that they have, the offensive line, to be able to do it. That, to me, is going to be such a fun matchup to watch. This is Utah and their talent and experience on their offensive line against a lot of really important, really good transfer, like defensive linemen that Texas Tech got, right? They kind of overhauled that room a good amount, and they're playing well so far, like you said, against different competition. So they'll see an uptick here on the road. They're going to have to be important to get after, the shorter, smaller Devin Dampier. But boy, oh boy, is he hard to get down. Yeah, what do you think here?
I mean, I think I lean Utah because I think I like the filled out roster, and I think I like them being at home, and I like that coaching advantage. I don't think there's necessarily a quarterback advantage. I love Devin Dampier. I mean, we've hyped him up big time, over the last however many months, and even last year when he was on New Mexico tearing things up with Bronco Mendenhall. But this Texas Tech team, I mean, expectations are as high as they've ever been for this program, at least in the last decade, right? I mean, this is the highest they've ever been ranked in the AP ranking since 2013. That's what I'm looking at. So over a decade. Not saying that matters, right? But I think that with this expectation, we still haven't really seen it from this group of kids, what they're actually capable of on the high end, like winning those big time games, like going on the road and winning those big time games. Texas Tech over the last couple of years has had some signature slip ups against some teams that they should beat, and they shouldn't. They're not favored to win this game. Utah is favored by 3.5 right here. That's what we're picking this game at. So it's interesting though, but like a game like this, though, if Texas Tech wins, if Baron Morton goes in there and slings the pill, and Caleb Douglas is as awesome as he is and is the best player on the field when he's out there, and these running backs, this combination of these two boys that they got back there, absolutely run all over these guys, and they look like they out physical Utah, they'll be my pick probably to win the Big 12. If they go out there and out physical Utah, Texas Tech will be my pick to win the Big 12 easily. Now, will that happen? I don't know. We'll leave that to the boys playing on Saturday. But you were right about this game, man. It should definitely be where game day is going. It's pretty criminal that it's not over here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, just ridiculous. But I mean, that's the way it goes. Sometimes for the Big 12 here, unfortunately, we'll say I'm with you in terms of it. If Texas Tech, I think the winner of this game to me is going to be on a real nice straight line speed, especially with Arizona State slipping up, especially with Baylor slipping up. Now, those were out of conference games. I understand that. Kansas State is not who anyone thought they were going to be. So, the path is opening for one of these two teams with talent and the coaching staffs that they have to make some real noise in the Big 12. But also, too, you talk about Texas Tech goes into Utah, and out physicals them, like you said. Utah, that's a legit team that can make noise in the college football playoff. I think, unfortunately, and Big 12 fans, close your ears, right? There's not a lot of respect nationally given to the winner of the Big 12 having a chance to win one or multiple games in the college football playoff. These two teams absolutely can. Utah has done that and beaten really good teams before, and this team is very, very talented and very, very well coached. Texas Tech has that talent. We haven't seen them do it consistently, but like you said, if you go to Utah and out physical Utah, boy, oh boy, watch out. I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to lean just slightly Utah. I think that home field advantage is going to be so big. I hesitate because it's at 3.5, because I do think it could come down to last possession. Whoever's the ball last, someone needs to make a stop, something like that. But this is also a very, very good opportunity. We'll see this game again come December, right, in the Big 12 championship. So a lot of implications here, a lot of talent going to be on the field there out in Salt Lake. What an environment, what a spot here for the Big 12 to be able to showcase their talent. What channel is this on? Is this it's going to be on, it's a Fox. Oh, that's why it's not game days there. But
yeah.
Yada. Noon kickoff. So that means 10 o'clock local time. Utah fans, let us know. Is that going to be a problem? Not that I expect it to, but that's kind of brutal. You got to get up early. You got to get to the stadium. You got to get packed in. You got to be ready to go at 10 o'clock. That's something to think about too. But nonetheless, give me Utah minus 3.5.
Let me ask you this: national championship wise, you brought it up. When I look at national championship favorites, and I'm looking at the quarterbacks of those teams, how many of those teams would take both of these or one of these guys?
I mean, Texas and Florida. Yeah, I mean, you got.
I mean, right now, obviously, you're not saying that Clemson would take one of these guys over Cade Klubnik, but these guys are playing better than Cade Klubnik, right? And Clemson, Carson Beck, I know is playing at a really high level right now, but
I'd say
Gunnar Stockton,
you'd have an opportunity there to swap. And let me say Drew Allar at Penn State. That's a real conversation, I think, to be had with those guys. Because, I'm with you. Make no mistake, this is two really, really good quarterbacks, fun, exciting quarterbacks that have had success in college football. But, that's not crazy at all. That shows you the talent on this team and the potential that they do have to make some noise.
Auburn goes to Oklahoma. Some injuries. All right. Auburn's missing a defensive end. We don't know the status of one of their cornerbacks. Oklahoma's got some issues on the offensive line with injuries. Is Gibson going to be back at wide receiver? Is Eli Bowen playing? Probably not. Like very
Mason
interesting.
Thomas, he was also ejected for targeting, probably going to get suspended.
Yeah, like what? Like we're not going to be seeing these teams really at like 100%, you know? So, and that makes it interesting, you know? Both these teams look really good. The Auburn offensive line has severely impressed me. It was something that people hyped up all offseason, and I was maybe quick to say, hey, let's slow down. All right. We don't know. Okay. Like it's a lot of the same guys from last year, and like they were okay. They weren't amazing. But yeah, Jackson Arnold using his legs, this rushing attack being as good as it is, these wide receivers being as talented as they are, like the offense is doing well. And defensively they were able to keep, guys like Baylor, like at bay, long enough. But it's gonna be different. I think this Oklahoma team is like it's pretty legit. Like John Mateer looks really good. He looks really good. These wide receivers look really good. This rushing attack looks all right. This defense, it's playing hard. I I understand Oklahoma. I know they didn't open at 6.5 point favorites, but we'll pick it at 6.5. I get it why Oklahoma's 6.5 point favorites. I'll lay the points with them. I think they look amazing. I do think like Oklahoma with the bodies that they have, if they're able to stop the run, like do we trust Jackson Arnold to be playing from behind in a game?
I say not from what we've seen. I think even in that Baylor game, he was at his best when he was running the football, right? Or he was playing within the offense, within the set of like not playing from behind the chains, in system, in rhythm in that offense. But the other factor is it is Jackson Arnold revenge game. It is Jackson Arnold's return to Norman.
Yeah.
There's not crazy that that could go one of two ways, but I do think he will play better in Norman than he played all last year, right? I don't whether that's good enough for Auburn to win or even cover. I don't necessarily know, but I think more that's just about he's grown as a player a little bit, getting out of that system, getting players around him. I think Oklahoma, like what they need to do defensively and without R. Mason Thomas, who's a better pass rusher, but in that front seven, you got to stop the run, man. That starts with Arnold, but also Jeremiah Cobb's been really effective this year. What they like to get the ball in Singleton's hand as well. So you get Jackson Arnold like in third and long, second and long on the road, bad things will happen for him. And then because you saw what good Michigan, like outside of that Justice Haynes 75-yard touchdown, like it was really good defense, man. It was really good defense and super impressive. I know you're playing honestly a more talented Auburn offense than that Michigan offense. But I expect your defense to rise to the occasion again. And I love it. For Oklahoma, too, like the trade of quarterbacks that you've made the past couple off seasons, right? Dylan Gabriel for Jackson Arnold did not work. Jackson Arnold for John Mateer has absolutely worked, man. I cannot be more and more impressed. The more I watch him and play, that Michigan game was obviously something. Even against Temple, and I know Temple is terrible. I get that. But to come out for Oklahoma and like be up 42-3 in that third quarter on the road after a big time win, to me gives me a ton of confidence in picking Oklahoma in this game to get it done. Obviously the injuries are tough. You talked about, maybe not seeing these teams at full strength, which sucks because we talked about this game in the offseason. We were previewing both these teams. It's like, this is a massive game because there was a real chance that both of these teams were going to be 2-1 and like backs against the wall, right? Already in September 20th, fighting for their lives in conference play. And here they are 3-0. I think, both teams very pleased with what they've done so far on the field. But yeah, this again is a massive, massive game. A lot of fun, a lot of buzz around it. Give me Oklahoma -6.5, and obviously to win as well. Don't feel great about it. Not gonna put anything on it. I do see visions, pathways for Auburn to get it done, but to me that comes around mucking it up. And I just trust John Mateer and this offense in this spot to get it done.
Well, let me just compound your point, right? Would you rather take Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer or Hugh Freeze and Jackson Arnold?
Like the trio of offense coordinators that Auburn has. Yeah, give me. I'm just joking. Give me. Yeah, probably Mateer. Obviously, Mateer and Arbuckle, and at home too.
And then would you rather take Venables on your defense or would you rather take DJ Durkin? I know my answer.
We're still anti DJ Durkin on this channel. I know he was better last
good.
year than we thought he would be, but it's a good talent, a very talented defense too that Auburn has. But Venables, yeah, give me Venables.
Yeah, so you have the quarterback advantage. You believe you have the coaching advantage. If Williams is not like 100%, it sounds like he won't be. Like, if you're Auburn, you got to take advantage of some of those injuries up front for Oklahoma, right? Like those tackles. They can get got, man. They can get got. And John Mateer can process from what we've seen pretty quickly. It's an offense that he's comfortable with. His wide receivers can separate. So there are ways that they can negate that. But if you're Auburn, like your priority has to be getting pressure on John Mateer with the offensive line that they're going to be throwing out there.
Yeah, with Falk and a couple other athletes you have in that front seven, Blitzen, whatever it may be. That's absolutely a very, very fair point. I just have a hard time seeing. I also think Mateer is, like you talked about, his processing. They've done well with poor offensive line in the past with Mateer or playing kind of out of system. Like he sometimes can thrive in some of those plays, but like for Auburn, Arnold's good with his legs for sure. But when the play breaks down, when things are not going well, it can compound. Man, it can compound for him. Is it true that they're like the same age, Mateer and Arnold? Even though it feels like Mateer is just so much older.
No, I think this is Mateer's 4th year.
Yeah, isn't he older than Arch though, or was that just a total lie I saw on Twitter?
Well, I don't know.
I know Arch is older for his age, but
yeah, I don't know. It could have been a troll. Who knows? I mean, either way, I'm laying the points with Oklahoma. Tulane's going on the road to Ole Miss. Now, do we know who's playing and who's not playing for Ole Miss? No, we don't know. We'll never know. We'll go from faking injuries to faking health, whatever. And honestly, either. Like at some level, you got to respect, like I don't know whether you want to call it gamesmanship. I understand what he's trying to do, and he's more so not trying to game the system than he is like mocking the system. Like that's in Lane Kiffin's MO, right? He's not necessarily going to. He will game it to his benefit, but he's more so mocking it, and I understand that. So, it sounds like though we will get Austin Simmons back, even though Chambliss was awesome last week against Arkansas. But yeah, serious concerns about Ole Miss's defense for sure. Where are we with? Do we think Tulane can bring a level of physicality that like, not that Arkansas didn't bring it, but like Tulane, a John Summerall coach team is physical, right? And they're mean and they're nasty. Like, what are the odds that Tulane just mucks this thing up and Jake Retzlaff just like does Jake Retzlaff things?
That's not crazy, man. I mean, they had Mensah, playing in a binder at some points in the game. Now, Mensah, he had to throw the ball 51 times, which I do not think was something that Manny Diaz and Duke wanted to happen. Mensah is also like an uber talented player, very, 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 very good quarterback. Is it crazy to say Mensah is better than Austin Simmons? I don't know, maybe not, but in terms of like talent and experience, potentially, I think it's right around there. He probably doesn't have the supporting. He does not have the supporting cast that Simmons and Ole Miss have. But I think like they've seen talented teams, they've seen well coached teams, they've seen some poorly coached teams this year. Tulane has. I've been nothing but super impressed with what they've done. Jake Retzlaff continues to surprise me in what he's doing. Feels like he just got on campus at Tulane and is getting better and better in each game. It's not crazy to say they muck it up. It's not crazy that they run the football 45, 50 times in this game and really try to bleed that clock and make Ole Miss, get after. Ole Miss, Arkansas, like, yes, Arkansas and Ole Miss played very, very well offensively. Chambliss was unbelievable. But you talked about it when we were talking about Arkansas and Memphis. Ole Miss didn't run the ball great. Right, that is something that is of concerning, and they got very, very
gashed,
not easily, but kind of gashed at times with Arkansas, especially the running quarterbacks. You throw Jake Retzlaff, you throw Tulane's, a couple running backs. They like to rotate in there with Turner and whoever else it may be. You could see an opportunity here. Absolutely. 13.5 feels like a lot to overcome, or it's down to 11.5 now. Feels like a lot to overcome on the road. But you're also getting Ole Miss in a spot coming off of a big win, a tiring, tough physical game against Arkansas. But on the other hand, Tulane played a tough game. And that's also credit Tulane, man, and what they do scheduling wise. We kind of talked about this off air and how they always seem to have tough opponents. Northwestern, right? Say what you want about them, but very, very physical. Like, a Power 4 football team, right? Big Ten resources. South Alabama is no slouch at all in the Sun Belt. Duke as well, with their well-coached and physical roster. And now you're on game 4 in a row of that. I do worry a little bit about some attrition and maybe some fatigue for Tulane and Ole Miss, right? So if you start slow on the road, that could be troublesome for you.
I will say, I don't think this Ole Miss defensive line is elite, but I don't think that this Tulane offensive line is particularly great, particularly at those tackle spots. I mean, Derek Graham, respect a guy that's going to play, 7 years of college football with John Summerall through and through, except for that brief spring ball stint that he had at Texas A&M. But there might be a significant mismatch. I mean, but with that being said, 11.5 points? Sure. I'll take Tulane.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ole Miss here. Unfortunately, I just think Simmons, his return there, hopefully you get back to running the football. Lane Kiffin's at his best offensively. When they are running the football with efficiency, they can get up on the line and get a gashed defensive line and run the football right at them and get up on the football and do it again, right? So Kawan Lacey and whoever they're throwing back there, running back, needs to be able to be more productive than they were against Arkansas. Arkansas has some dudes at linebacker. They got a very, very good edge rusher as well, and some beef in that middle. I think different bodies than you'll see with Tulane. So that's my goal here. I think if you're Ole Miss, get back to running the football. Also, let's see Simmons play a full game and not turn the football over, right? That's also, you're going to get a spot here. You give Tulane short fields. You don't capitalize in the red zone when you need to. You're going to keep that football team in longer than they should be. And all of a sudden, you're playing a talented team with confidence. That's not a good recipe for you. So if you're Ole Miss, get in, get out, and move into SEC play.
Michigan is going to Nebraska. Inarguably, while we're not really talking about it, most people aren't talking about it, one of the more important games in this school's recent history, if you think about it. I mean, this can be a cornerstone game. This game, especially with your remaining Big Ten schedule, you got a real shot here. Put the pedal to the metal and put yourself in a great spot to win 8, 9, 10 games, which you haven't seen as a program in however long, and this Michigan team's good. It's good, but you can win. You're at home, 2.5-point underdogs. I know people want to point to the Cincinnati game and be like, they should have lost that game, all right? But you and I, CD, we both know, all right, while nationally, other dinguses and tingus pinguses don't know this, that Cincinnati team is a lot better than what anyone is talking about or what anyone is willing to admit. They're better up front than you think. They have a better quarterback than you think. They have a better rushing attack. They got more speed at wide receiver than they had the previous year. That is a better Cincinnati team than they were last year. So just because week 1, you had a tough game, right, which you were able to end up winning, how many one-possession games have you won as a program the last couple of years? Not a lot, especially in that Scott Frost tenure. I kind of like Nebraska here. I do like the way Justice Haynes is running the football. I do like a lot of what Bryce Underwood is doing. Super athlete. I like when he's moving. I mean, they finally got him moving on the ground with his legs this past week, and he was, boy, did he look really effective right there. Donovan McCulley, these receivers don't look too bad. We knew Samaj Morgan was going to be all right. The defense, I thought, did a pretty decent job, even against Oklahoma. I mean, John Mateer got his, but, for the most part, against what's one of the better quarterback offensive coordinator duos in the country, you're still able to cause some problems. We'll see how this Nebraska offensive line is going to be holding up against that front seven. We'll see if Nebraska can run the ball. We'll see what kind of pressure Dylan Raiola is going to be able to handle. But in my opinion, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the Big Ten, which, debate me if you want to in the comments. I like Nebraska here. I'll take them plus 2.5, and I'll take them to probably win the game.
It's a massive spot. You talked about the importance for Nebraska, and a fan base that's just been desperate and starving, for a win like this to build momentum upon. You get a nice win against Cincinnati. Yeah, you talked about, how they're not someone to be messed with, over in the Big 12 there. And by the way, Biff Poggi, man. Biff Poggi is back. Now, I think he coached last week, too, against Central Michigan, but he's the interim head coach with Strone Moore suspended. And he's going to be really important in getting Bryce Underwood settled in on the road. They did not get him settled in against Oklahoma. They got to get that done. I think you're playing a little bit less caliber of an athlete defensively, less caliber schematically with what Venables does to you, and the difficulty he brings, especially to a young and inexperienced quarterback. You have to get more production from the wide receivers. I trust Justice Haynes to be able to get after it on the ground, and he runs like a madman himself. So whatever he can provide for you will be huge. But Samaj Morgan, Donovan McCulley, even Andrew Marsh, guys like that, you got to get something, right? A little bit more than you've seen. Not just check down to the tight ends and have, in hope and pray, Underwood just scrambles around and makes magic for him. It's really, really interesting. It'll be fun to see. Hopefully Rod Moore sounds like he's coming back, heart and soul of Michigan football, what he's been to them and how important he's been for them the past couple seasons. So I don't have crazy expectations for him as a player right away and just a brutal injury he suffered. So that's going to take some time for him to get back to himself. But what that can do, motivating and gathering and rallying a team, especially going on the road, like feels like your back's against the wall against Oklahoma. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff. And for Nebraska, run the football, man. Emmett Johnson is a good football player. Quentin Ives has been kind of a nice surprise for you this year after battling injuries in fall camp. Get after them on the ground. Make Raiola's job easy. Score often and early, right? Be able to run the football, bleed that clock, and really put Bryce Underwood in a tough spot. In Michigan, a team that's not built to come from behind. I think I'm going to go Michigan. I don't feel good about it. I'm still at a spot where I have to see it before I believe it with Nebraska. And I love Matt Rule. I think he's really, really good. As a Minnesota fan, I'm terrified since the day he's been hired at Nebraska of Matt Rule turning that program into what I think he can. And he's well on his way to doing so. I'm still on that wait to see and believe with what they can do there. But listen, Memorial Stadium, it'll be on fire. You got a lot of stuff going around outside that game. It's a huge spot for Nebraska to get it done. Raiola and all those guys put on a show, and defensively they got a lot of guys on that pass rush that can get after Underwood. But I just have a feeling he makes a couple plays. Haynes runs the football well, and defensively he gets some stops there and get Biff Poggi to 2-0 in his interim coaching career at Michigan.
Illinois going to Indiana. That's 4.5-point dogs? Dude. I mean, both these teams have played really well. We think Old Dominion's better, right? I mean, I'm not sure we actually know how bad Virginia Tech is. They might be really, really, really bad. But the Indiana team, I know they looked really good against Indiana State. Classic. Smoking a cig through a filter, just letting those boys just mutilate a team that's less talented than they are. And Illinois has been doing a lot of the same. I mean, Illinois has been putting a pounding on some teams as of recent. Luke Altmaier looks great. Hank Beatty looks absolutely incredible at wide receiver. That's a guy that... Now there's a guy, right? As we're recording this on Monday night. This duo of running backs, man, and the defense just looking so good right now. I mean, forcing how many turnovers? You forced 5 turnovers against Duke, and turnovers I know have a lot of variance, but come on, man. Like it's been an impressive look for the Illini right now. I know you're going on the road, but man, I mean, this is one of the bigger Illinois versus Indiana matchups that we've ever seen. I mean, Mendoza playing really well at Indiana. I mean, gosh. I mean, I'll take the Illini with the points. I feel like if you're going to get it 4.5 points with a top 10, I don't know that Illinois is actually a top 10 team. They're probably more like a top 20 team if you're looking at power ratings wise, but boy, getting 4.5 points that's a lot for me. I think this game could be close, but yeah, I'll take the points, man.
Even with Bloomington, it'll be on fire. I think there for the first time, since what they were doing last year. With Signetti there, I think we still don't know. We still really don't know about, honestly, either of these teams. That Illinois Duke game, I think, I watched that pretty intently. You talked about those turnovers. Like, yes, I was really impressed down and down. I mean, Altmaier was incredible on the road. You mentioned Beatty. I want to see more from that running game, like Fegan being more efficient, man. Get back to your 2023 self, be healthy, and to go on the road. Like, you're going to have to run the football against this Indiana team, which I know Signetti likes to stop the run, and they got talent in that front seven as well. But even for Indiana, too, like, yeah, we don't know how good they are. I think I know how good Mendoza is. I think he's a really good football player. Seems like he's settling in nicely with Indiana. He's Surratt and Stays. Cooper had a monster game. So they got talent there surrounding him. It'll just be about the trenches, man. Like, how for real are these teams where their identities normally are? Like, Brett Bielema loves his offensive line, right? And their defense line, they've had Gabiakis and others. They've had a lot of good defensive linemen come through there these past couple seasons. Like, it's man up time, right? Indiana, same thing. You saw them and how frustrating it was to lose to Notre Dame in the way you did, right? I think for Signetti, like, this is a big prove-it game for them, too, to be like, no, we're for real, man. Like, we're going to go at home and we're going to take care of business on the trenches. It's hard, man, because I think I'm on the over this year preseason for Illinois. I'm on the under this year for Indiana. And I don't know what's changed, but I'm just feeling Indiana right now, which is wild. I hate the 4.5. That feels like a whole heck of a lot for Indiana to overcome, especially with, I think it's going to be a close football game. I mean, I don't want to middle it because that's kind of soft. I'll just take Indiana outright here. I think they play clean football. I think they stop the run. And at home, I think they're going to have a massive advantage with that crowd behind them. And listen, like, it'll be a resurgence of Mendoza back into college football media because I feel like he's been quiet. He had a lot of hype over the offseason just because of what he was, transport ranking, all that stuff. He was really good last year for Cal. Cal's quarterback right now, JKS, getting a ton of attention, deservingly so. I think Mendoza is about to recapture that, man. Like, and he's going to put himself right into a spot. And I love Altmaier, by the way, too, but Mendoza will put himself right into a spot, the forefront of Heisman lists, of Maxwell, NFL draft conversations, reminding everyone how good he really, really is for them. Give me Signetti and the Indiana Hoosiers, but I don't love it. I do not love it.
I mean, these are two of the top probably 5 quarterbacks in the Big Ten squaring off, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't think you can't put the Ohio State kid. He's too young. The Maryland kid too young. Iowa. And
I mean, it's maybe Mayava, Damon Williams, Dante Moore, Drew Aller.
But then, these two are right there with them in that top 5. That's not crazy.
It's not crazy at all. SMU going to TCU. We're going to pick this at 6.5, even though most lines are at 7. I mean, we can't pick a game and then it push, like I hate that, so we're going to pick it at 6.5. Even that gives a little bit of an edge to TCU here. TCU favored by 6.5. Josh Hoover, looking incredible. Once again, the Big 12 conference of quarterbacks. SMU's coming off that, excruciatingly brutal loss to Baylor. Just brutal. At home, you blow a fourth quarter lead to Sawyer Robertson, and you just find a way to lose, right? Which is something that you did the opposite of the year before. You just found ways to win. That's a lot of points here. That's a lot of points. But SMU's defense, particularly their secondary, got battered. Battered. And now, so did Auburn's secondary, right? That Baylor wide receiver core is one of the better ones in college football. And Sawyer Robertson looks like a legitimate, at least from a stat padding perspective, not necessarily like a down-to-down consistency perspective, like one of the better quarterbacks in college football in terms of the value that he adds to his offense specifically. I think I like TCU. I think I'll lay the 6.5 here, man. Andy Avalos in the second year here as their defensive coordinator, it's looking really good. The more we're learning about North Carolina, the more we're learning about, maybe North Carolina's really not good, right? So that TCU blowout isn't like, TCU is like some amazingly good school. This is going to be an incredibly high-scoring game. This is going to be an incredible duel between two great quarterbacks. Fort Worth versus Dallas. Classic, right? You love this. You love this game. This rivalry. I love everything about it. 11 a.m. kickoff, Central Time. I'll lay TCU minus 6.5. Give me the Hoove in this one.
Yeah. You mentioned it's a great game, by the way, to have these guys be playing again. Did they play last year, right? Kevin Jennings, Redshirt Smith got the best out of TCU. Hoover, I passed for 400
crazy
yards.
high-scoring game.
Yeah.
66 to 42.
SMU jumped on him early and then never really looked back. TCU made it close, but it just was hard to come back after that. Couldn't run the football last year in Dallas. And obviously, Redshirt Smith and the rest of SMU's offense kind of ran all over you, and you struggle with turnovers. We had 5 turnovers, something just ridiculous like that. That can't happen this year at home. I do worry. Last week, after a bye, so you had North Carolina, you have a bye, and Abilene Christian, a team, and Stone Earl, the quarterback, that struggled with Tulsa. Now, yes, it was really in that second half when they did damage, but they were moving the football in that first half. Is a little bit concerning, I think, for TCU. I also think that North Carolina TCU game, you had a ton of big plays. Momentum flipped just like that and kind of put that game out of reach. It felt like within a second. So that's where I wonder, battle tested. I love SMU and what they've been through. I love Kevin Jennings, even though I love Hoover as well. I want to go TCU, man. I really do. But to me, this feels like the spot that SMU gets right, man, and continues to push. Like, this is a huge game for them. Now, yes, they haven't lost in conference. They haven't even played a conference game. But this is a big spot for them. You see Georgia Tech getting a lot of love. You see Miami, Florida State getting a lot of love. SMU wants to remind folks that they were just in the ACC championship, just in the college football playoff just a year ago. And I think they get back to it here with Kevin Jennings putting on a show for SMU on the road, and they sweep the series that they had done with TCU.
It feels like it hasn't really mattered whatever combination of offensive line SMU throws out there. It feels like those boys have been physical. They've been able to run the ball. Kevin Jennings looks comfortable back there for the most part. That's going to play a big role as well. Andy Avalos. And maybe TCU fans can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Andy Avalos likes to ramp it up a little bit, Yeah, an experienced, solid offensive line is going to do you wonders on the road. It's going to do you wonders on the road.
Here's what I will say, too, about last week with SMU, because I turned on that Missouri State game because it was close, right, for a while. Missouri State put up 330 total yards. They were 0 for 12, 0 for 13 on third and fourth downs combined. Like, that is something that was great for SMU, but that's not going to be the case here in Fort Worth. You have to be better down in and down out or limiting the explosive plays. And then also penalty wise, 12 for 130 against Missouri State is not acceptable. I know you were on the road, but come on now. Be a little bit better than that. But I still feel it, man. Kevin Jennings, TJ Harden, you get Brinson, coming back. We'll see how Maryland, maybe this is the week that he gets back to himself. And they got talent defensively, man. I think that's another thing that SMU doesn't get enough credit for, even though they got shredded by Baylor. But it was also a Sawyer Robertson masterclass, man. I mean, he's going to do that to a ton of folks. Give me SMU here.
Arizona State traveling to Baylor. We were just talking about Sawyer Robertson. Man, this Baylor defense is terrible. It really is. It's so bad. What are they going to be able to do? Like, it's obviously not sustainable throughout the course of the season, but like, in what games is Sawyer Robertson going to be able to take over with Josh Cameron and Ashton Hawkins and Michael Trigg and Bryson Washington? Like, what games are they going to be able to take over? Is it this one at home when they're playing against Arizona State? A team that got caught lacking with their pants down, 2 weeks ago, and then came back with a nice little bounce back win over a solid Texas State team. We'll see. Here's my thinking, though. Like, Arizona State, dude, they gamble defensively. It's a lot of man coverage, and it's a lot of man coverage when maybe they shouldn't be running man coverage. What are these Baylor wide receivers going to do to that? I didn't even add Kobe Wilson in there. I mean, Ashton Hawkins, Josh Cameron, Kobe Wilson, Michael Trigg, just to throw in there, right? I mean, Sawyer Robertson is just playing with unbelievable weapons there. I gotta think that Sawyer Robertson comes out here and lights them up, just like he's lit up everyone else. He didn't look great against Samford, but they also ran the ball a ton. He didn't even need to do anything crazy in that game. Yeah, Arizona State, the offense hasn't necessarily looked like itself. It was better last week, but hasn't looked like it did the year before. A lot of that's Cam Scadaboo. A lot of that maybe just be early season, kind of working out kinks and stuff. But I think I like Baylor here, -2.5. Don't feel great about it at all.
Yeah, I think this could be a spot here where you're seeing Baylor score at will, and yet all of a sudden Arizona State's just in the ball game at the end of the day. They have ran the football extremely well. It seems like, and I hate to say this, they are not missing Cam Scadaboo right now, as talented and how good, dominant at times he was for you last year. Raleek Brown, right, Udo, guys like that, they are really getting it done. Levitt on the ground, extending plays. He made 1 or 2 plays last weekend against Texas State that was just mind-numbingly crazy impressive, incredible athleticism that he showed and poise. Jordan Tyson is back, man, and he is healthy, and that is great to see for them. He is a star for you with Arizona State, but you mentioned it, man. What Blake Shapen and at times Brad Jackson did to you through the air is something that is really, really terrifying, I think, for Arizona State, especially going on the road. You get a spot here where potentially you have Baylor jumping on you, and you got to put the ball in the air with Levitt, who I know is a very good quarterback, but that's not where he really thrives, man. He thrives playing within the offense, playing with the run-pass option, and getting Jordan Tyson one-on-one and letting him make plays. Yeah, I'm with you. I like Baylor in this spot here to get a big-time win. Both teams, yes, they have losses in the out-of-conference of the SEC, but they're both 0-0, 0-0 in the Big 12. We talked about how important that Texas Tech-Utah game is. You've got Iowa State playing very good football as well. TCU playing on the road.
Well, I mean, the Arkansas State game, that was its own thing. They could have lost that game.
But Arkansas State, we know how good. Jalen Raynor's a star, man. Jalen Raynor's a star.
That is
he
true.
Took over third downs, man. He took over. But you got competition in that Big 12. Yeah, give me Baylor here in a close one against against Arizona State. Especially this gets into your high scoring games, man. I just believe in Robertson at the end of the game to make things happen. You talked about all the playmakers they have, the weapons they can do. Defensively, it's a struggle. It's going to be a concern, but maybe get some turnovers, maybe get some stops on third down. You stop the run just even a little bit, and you're gonna I think walk away with this one. But yeah, give me Baylor.
Let's head over to our best bets. Last week, not a great week for the kids. We were combined 2-6. Down many units last week, but collectively we're okay, right? Collectively we're okay. You're on a bit of a cold streak right now. Can't avoid that. You've made up for it in the Dirty Dogs by a significant margin, so I'm not worried about us. All right, I'm really not. However, I got a late ad, actually. I'll make it 5. And the 5th one may bite me in the ass here, but I got 5 that I like. How many you got?
I got 3. I just kind of gonna ease back into it. I'm gonna take my nice 2-1 week here and get right week here for the Redshirt Sophomore for CD at least here. But yeah, just 3.
I need to get right week as well. You know, I mean, I'm 8-8, I think. 8-6. I'm 8-6 right now on the season, so I'm up. First bet, let's go UTEP -4.5. I think they can stop the run against Louisiana Monroe. Their defense has sneakily been solid, consistently down to down. Aside from the Miles Davis run that they gave up, like late in that game, those like 58-yarder. I mean, they're letting up like less than 3.5 yards a carry. I mean, they're good. Not to mention Malachi Nelson, who hasn't looked great, but I gotta believe that Scotty Walden dude's gonna figure him out and figure out that offense because he's an absolutely darn good coach. So is Brian Vincent, right? Same hiring cycle. We liked both of those coaches, so I hate betting against them. But going to the Sun Bowl there, give me UTEP -4.5.
That's not crazy. I thought about that too with Waldron. That defense looked very, very nice against Texas, and they just didn't have the athletes, unfortunately, to take advantage of that with their offense. But it's not crazy. They get right here, in week 4. I'm gonna go to the Sun Belt here. I guess stay in the Sun Belt, kinda. Another Sun Belt CUSA matchup. Let me go Southern Miss here. This time I'll take the Sun Belt team. Southern Miss +3.5 against Louisiana Tech. You're in that with me as well, I think, which is awesome. Yeah, I mean, Southern Miss, this is a different team, man, than they were last year. Braxton is so good for them. I think he takes over. Louisiana Tech got after New Mexico State. New Mexico State's not a good football team. And Blake Baker, I know, looked good for you, and he ran the ball well. Omari Wiggins, did well as well. But, give me...
There's better athletes over here in Southern Miss from Hattiesburg. There's better athletes here.
Good coaching staff as well. I think a determined Southern Miss team that looked really good against App State.
And good against Mississippi State for like 2.5 quarters.
They gave them all they could handle.
I bet on Southern Miss. That was one of the few bets that I hit last week. It's like I don't get why the market is still behind on Southern Miss. I don't get it. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'll go to Arkansas -7 here. I know we talked about it. I'm not gonna repeat everything, but I think Arkansas is just much better athletically. I think they can stop the run. Even I don't know if DeRozier is gonna be back or whoever it is, Sutton, whatever. If Brendan Lewis is asked to make tough throws when guys are better covered, what's going to happen? I don't know. And granted, Arkansas secondary hasn't looked great. In fact, it hasn't looked good at all. Yeah, give me Arkansas -7 on the road.
Yeah, I mean, that's not crazy. I do worry a little bit about defensively, but I think that makes a lot of sense there. I was with you, not enough to bet on it. I'm going to bet on Kansas, though, -13.5 against West Virginia, the backyard brawl winners. I do not think West Virginia is still very good. They should have lost that game against Pitt, and I think they will lose this one by at least 2 touchdowns on the road. Kansas is a good football team, man. They gave Missouri a lot of business there right? So it's a good football team they got there. I think they're coming off a bye as well, if I'm not mistaken, which is big time, for our Kansas Jayhawks. I love the spot, love schedule dynamics. I love the talent, the quarterback at Kansas. I hate the quarterbacks at West Virginia. So yeah, give me Kansas minus 13.5.
I can't do that. I can't lay that many points with Kansas, but I see where you're going. I don't think West Virginia is very good. The backyard brawl, it always is mucked up. I get it. I like that. Give me Tulsa, Oklahoma State under 55.5. Yeah, Oklahoma State does not have a very good offense. Neither does Tulsa. That's really all it is to it. So, that's way too many points for some teams that are. It's going to be an ugly game. All right. I know there might be a chance that these guys are featured on our Dirty Dogs in a little bit here. It wouldn't shock me. But yeah, under 55.5, Tulsa, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it's not crazy. I do worry about Trey Lamb, though. It's a very good offensive coach. If they put some things scheming,
good. They have not looked good offensively.
No, they haven't. They have not. And yeah, they're not great. They just really aren't great. But Oklahoma State, it's not crazy at all. Like we'll talk about that later. But if you're expecting, Tulane to stay in that football game, you're gonna have to muck it up. And that's
Tulsa, yeah.
Excuse me, Tulsa. They're gonna. That bodes well for the under. I'm gonna go. I guess stay in the Sun Belt and the CUSA again here. James Madison at Liberty. Give me James Madison minus 9.5. Liberty's not very good, man. Unfortunately, you kind of gotta wash that out of your head that like Liberty is like a premier team in G5. They're just not great. They lost to Bowling Green and Drew Pine by 10. You struggle with turnovers. You struggled moving the football. I think this is a real spot here. James Madison's coming off of a bye and a spot where they played Louisville really, really tough until the end. I love Alonzo Barnett. They've been kind of playing Sluka a little bit. We're running the football. We'll see what happens out of the bye. A lot of it. We'll see what happens after the bye. Nonetheless, I trust that coaching staff, right? Bob Chesney and whoever to figure it out. I'm either quarterback to me, I think gets the win here at Liberty by at least 10 points. So 9.5, JMU.
I see it. I see the vision. Last one I'll roll, SMU TCU over 63.5.
Oh.
That's a lot. We took SMU Baylor over 63.5 a couple weeks back. I see a similar forecast, and that game smacked. I mean, it was not even close. The over just crushed. And last year, these teams combined to score 108 points last year. So I'm feeling pretty good about that one. But that was my late ad. That was my gut. So yeah, UTEP minus 4.5, Southern Miss plus 3.5, Arkansas minus 7, Tulsa, Oklahoma State under 55.5, SMU, TCU over 63.5 is mine. Your card is going to be Southern Miss plus 3.5, Kansas minus 13.5, and JMU minus 9.5. We now enter the Dirty Dogs again. Last week, smack one. New Mexico plus 525. That makes you, CD, first of all, you're going to have the T-box today, and because I went 0-2. You are 2-4 in the season, and so am I, which is nuts. We are 4-8. We're picking at 33%. And what the Dirty Dogs are, guys, it's double-digit point spreads. All right, they have to be. All right. So if you think that your team is a double-digit point favorite and they're safe, just know that they're not, especially if they're on this list. If you were to follow all of our Dirty Dogs and just bet money on it, you'd be up almost 9 units, which is wild. Last year, we actually went positive just betting on these Dirty Dogs. So, yeah, that's not financial advice. I'm just saying we've been on a heater. So, CD, you're hot right now on the Dirty Dog side of things. You get the T-box. What's up?
Yeah, I'm going to the SEC here. This is a gut here, right? South Carolina is big time underdogs against Missouri on the road. 13.5 is the line, plus 400 is the value you get at the money line. Listen, I know Lenore Sellers is probably not going to be playing. I think on the off chance that he plays, this is incredible value. He's probably not going to play. With that being said, Dylan Stewart is going to be playing, even though he had that ejection thing, all that kind of stuff. He will be playing. I think Luke Dottie was put in a tough situation, even though he didn't play terrible necessarily. I just think South Carolina, I think a reset was nice. Reality check was great for him. This feels like Beamer ball. This feels like legendary Beamer performance. And I also question, too, like, how good is Missouri really? I know the Kansas win was impressive, right? No doubt about that. Pribula was fantastic. Ahmed Hardy and Jamal Roberts, but Hardy especially, incredible football players. Kevin Coleman is really, really good. I think I did underestimate the Missouri talent that they do have on their team, and they've been proving me wrong all throughout, but this feels like a spot, man. It's hard to give a talented team like South Carolina plus 400. Yeah, give me the Gamecocks on the road.
I will not be with you on that one. That's all you. Good luck. Is all I'll say. But also, I said that when you took Rice week 1, so we'll see. I mean, we've been on, so we got to trust ourselves on this one. I'll go with Western Michigan plus 440 against Toledo. They're at home. They haven't played great. They're just coming off getting shut out against Illinois. But they could buck this thing up. All right, Toledo, they're gonna slip up somewhere, right? Is it gonna be here on the road against Western Michigan? I don't know. All I'm saying is that Western Michigan could be a dirty dog this week.
Yeah, I mean, was it Trent Taylor? Like that staff deserves a ton of credit there with what they've done there with Western Michigan. Toledo always slips up at some point, right, in the MAC against teams that they probably shouldn't. It's not crazy to say that could be a spot for them as well. This one is a little bit more stinky. You talked about it with Tulsa and Oklahoma State on your best bets as the under. I'm going to go Tulsa here, plus 12.5 at plus 380. I don't feel great about it. I'll be honest. I just have a hard time looking around the rest of the board and feeling good about that and whatever else was left for me. Tulsa's not great offensively. I will say Trey Lamb can dial it up at times. They got to get right. Oklahoma State has looked awful, right? The team, not that they're on quit watch or anything like that. You get a bye week to reset. We'll see who they throw out there on the offensive side of the ball to try to figure out. I just think the team is not talented. Like a huge gap. Like you could see a spot here where shit hits the fan for Gundy and Oklahoma State, and they lose to Tulsa, and then you're talking about serious conversations to be had there with that program. So, yeah, give me Tulsa, man. Don't love it, but sometimes those are the ones that get you.
Are you going to get another coach fired?
Listen, for the record, I think Gundy deserves better than to be fired in mid-season. I will say that.
Agreed.
He could lose every single game the rest of the way, and I would say wait until the end of the season to fire him and let him walk away.
True. Tulane plus 350 against Ole Miss is my pick. My second and final pick. I think they can get Ole Miss, man. I don't think it's that crazy at all to say that Tulane physically can match Ole Miss. I don't know athletically, but the gritty John Summerall Tulane team that I know could make this a game and muck it up, right? So anytime you're going to get plus 350 for a team that's very prone to mucking things up with better teams, yeah, absolutely. And a quarterback that's athletic enough that can make good plays. You have SEC talent on your team. It's just not in abundance like you see it with Ole Miss. But yeah, I like Tulane plus 350. So that's ours. I got Western Michigan plus 440 and Tulane plus 350. Your Dirty Dogs are South Carolina plus 400 and Tulsa plus 380. That's going to do it, guys, for a Week 4 preview. Thanks for tuning in. We love doing this, man. So if you guys are still hanging out here at the end of this video and you're not subscribed, first of all, that's crazy. that you made it all the way through this. You're not subscribed. It's crazy. Go ahead and subscribe. Drop a like if you like the content too. Kind of a rule. If you like it, if you like the content, you kind of have to like the video too. So, but yeah, we're excited. We're rooting for everyone's teams. Just kidding. We all got our allegiances and biases, but can't wait to see, man. We're going to learn a lot this week. And some games, we're going to watch some games with serious college football implications, college football playoff implications. So I'm excited. CD, anything for us on the way out?
Yeah, so many great games. We're getting to that spot, in mid-September. Cannot believe we're already here in week 4. Feels like it's flown by so far, but appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching us and all that good stuff that you've done for our channel. We've seen a lot of growth recently, which has been really encouraging for us, and we're working really hard on this. So appreciate you guys for supporting us.
Absolutely. We'll see y'all in the next one.